G'day everybody, welcome back. Episode 3 today of the Fiat, and let's get it going again. Now, a couple of things. First up, this may take a couple of days. It feels like it's going to rain, but I've got a half-done sump gasket ready to go, so we've got to get that done. And the second thing is, I've lost my tripod, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you all the jobs, and then I'm going to show you them finished, because in all seriousness, they're very, very boring. I have to put a sump gasket on, and if you've never seen someone put a sump gasket on, YouTube's full of it. I'll show it to you what we're going to do and how we're going to do it and all that sort of stuff, but it's two hands job, camera, yeah. We've also got a new air intake that I've built. I'm not overly happy with it, and I'll talk about that in a minute. We do have to clean the air cleaner, which is here somewhere, and then maybe we'll put some oil and some filter in it, and we never know, if we have a good run, we might turn it over with some oil in it. But first things first, I had to take the air cleaner out to be able to get into there to put the new pipe in. We will drop that off. You saw that in the last video. It's pretty clean. It just needs to be emptied and wiped out. Here's my new air intake hose. The split on the old one was here, and my problem is that I can't quite get this to be the right angle, so I'm going to have to use the tension to make that work. A bit frustrated by that, but it'll hold air. I will, when we get it started, actually squirt some Aerostart down here when it's running, and if it accelerates, I'll know I've got an air leak. The radiator hose is the other job, which has got to go in here, which, as you can imagine, is going to be quite difficult to film, and the sump gasket, which is around the other side. Once again, the dog's going off his noodle. I do have to find an exhaust pipe. I thought I had one and I don't. So anyway, let's go and have a look at, there's the radiator hose. That will go in here like this, and like so. But I only have to cut potentially just a little bit off that. So I've got enough meat just on that top notch. And so by the time I push that on, that might almost actually fit. Gonna have a go without cutting it, and we'll see what it does. But I gonna have another look for this tripod, because I really want you to see that. So here's the sump. It's like a sump cover. It doesn't actually have much capacity, but to get this gasket off was an absolute dog. And if in doubt, always get your finger and run it across. Now, if it's pretty smooth, I'm not too worried about it. I'm going to use my favourite goop to put it on, and it will hold. But remember, whatever you seal up inside the engine is going to be in the bottom of the engine. So make sure it's nice and clean. I have cleaned the bottom of the tractor. So this gasket was just horrendous to get off. But with enough goop in between the two surfaces on the new one, it should be fine. Now, I've got a couple of bolts, because once I do one side, I'll put the gasket on and line it up with a couple of bolts. So I'll do that. I'll get the first bit on, and then we'll have a look. So that's the first layer on. My personal preference is that I shouldn't be able to see anything but goop colour, and I want to make sure that I get it around the holes, because that's where the gasket's the thinnest, between the inside and the outside. But it is pretty thick. It's quite a thick gasket, so plenty of compression in it, plenty of squeeze. So we'll put this on here. Just put my 2 bolts in for now, just to hold it, stop it from sliding. And we'll make sure the holes are lined up, and just push it on gently. Again, you don't have to do this, but this is just how I do it. So we'll get the next layer on, and then I'll probably just put it straight on the tractor and get it done up, because there is another rainstorm coming over the hill. It's blue out there and raining over there. So she's all gooped up. Don't forget to remember which is the front and which is the back. I'm currently holding the front towards me, and going to lay down there in the dirt and the mud and the oil and the water and just stick this straight on. So we'll be back in a sec. So as it quietly rains on my legs, here's a lesson I learned straight up way long ago, is get every bolt started in all the holes, and then once every bolt's started, push the pan up, do 2 bolts up, and then just make sure that everything turns in the holes, so you can make sure that it's all lined up, every thread's engaged, and then do it up. Because if you don't, and it's not lined up, you'll end up having to redo the job. So I'll ugger them up and we'll find the sump plug. So if you've never used sump goop before, and I'm pretty sure most people watching have used it, the trick is to put it on, do it up firm but not ridiculous, leave it half an hour, and then take up the squeeze. Pretty happy with that. I don't care about the squeeze out, I don't care what it looks like. It means people can see that it's been done recently. So I'll give the sump plug a clean up. The wash is pretty good. I might have to get another wash. I've got another washer in the shed. And I'll put this back in. I'll put the other 2 transmission plugs back in as well, because I've got transmission oil for this, and we'll keep going. So the filter cleaned up all right, hydraulic filter. Just jam that back in there. No, we won't. Must be a little, oh, there we go. So that'll go in there, and we'll do that up. I will clean the lens before the next camera shot, because that's disgusting. Right, well that's the hydraulic filter back in, and the hydraulic system's ready to fill up. We've just got to pull the bung from here on the other side, and it takes 18 litres, which is basically a 20 litre drum. So at this point, this side's done. We'll just do this little fuel thing up again. I'm not going to pull the filters off this time. What's really interesting is the filters are the same colour as everything else. I doubt they're original. This is a 40-year-old tractor, but it's really interesting that they're all the same colour. Not going to put oil in it yet today. I've got to go get another fibre washer. I thought I had one and I don't. So the next job is clean the air filter and try and get this thing done up. Okay, so we'll lift this off. This one doesn't look too bad. It's got a little bit of grass and schmutz in it. That's what it's for. So we're just going to sit this like this, let it drippy for a while. I'll empty this into the tub in the shed and we'll wipe it out. Get some degreaser. It's got a little bit of grass in it. It's not a bad sign. It means it's been sucking pretty hard, which means there hasn't been any air leak through that split hose. What's this engine oil? So there's a little bit of dirt in it, but not much. There, we'll give that a clean and put it back in with some fresh oil. Don't think this is going to work. So I need more bend, but the pipe I've got doesn't flex, so might have to go back to the turbo accessory shop and put a turbo intercooler pipe on. Big silicon blue hose and make it look sexy. So with a Turana belt on the bottom, Turana radiator hose and a turbo intercooler pipe, this tractor is gonna go sick, man. Oh, hang on, before we do that, I need to do those bolts up again. So it's been about half an hour and it's Just going to nip these bolts up. I'm doing it old school with a spanner because that way I know they've all had about the same amount. I don't grab the spanner right on the end, just trying to nip them up and squish. So it's not real good vision, but and then it might be oil filter time. So this is going to make a big mess, get ready for it. Oh, maybe not. Turns out not. That's the old one. Let's have a look at it. See what the new one's like. That's the new one. Look about the same. Right, radiator pipe's on. Had to cut about 2 centimetres off this end, and it's still not quite square up in there, so I'm gonna have to keep an eye on that. And then same up in there, there's a bend. I can get the metal pipe. I found a website in Australia. I can buy the pipe and the 2 joining bits of rubber, so if it's no good and it leaks I can get it, but this will at least let us get this thing turning over. Got to remember to shut that tap. I'm going to put some water in the radiator in a minute. Oil filter's on. I did measure the seal, it's all good. Now we're going to put some oil in there, and then that'll call it for the day. You can hear my lawn growing now that the sun's come out. And then water in the radiator, see what it does tonight. I've covered up the intake again. Looks like the rain might have blown away. And I need to get some new fibre washers for the bottom. So let's get the oil into that, and then that'll do us for today. So that's about 12, 13 litres, and we're on the stick. Now it's probably a little bit full for now, but by the time the hydraulic circuit starts up and we fill all the pipe work back up again and lift some shit up and down, we'll recheck it. So that's it for today. New fibre washers for that sump, oil in the top, fuel in the tank, hook the battery up and wait for the postie, because as at this stage, no key. So we'll see you tomorrow. I can hear running water. Why can I hear running water? Where's it coming from? Oh, what the hell. That I was expecting. I'll close that. I'm hoping that's just the overflow from this. Righto, radiator's full-ish. We'll just keep topping it up again in the morning. I want it to dry out here. I want this area to be dry tomorrow, so if stuff does start leaking I can see it. But yeah, we're done for the day. Righto, so I'm going to call this video here, we'll call it episode 3, the boring bits. I committed to showing you everything. Okay, it's a bit dull, but we're getting there. Really frustrated about that air intake pipe. I thought I'd had a genius idea, didn't work. The radiator hose is good, the sump cover's back on. I'm short a couple of fibre washers, that's okay, we can sort that out. And we're basically ready to go, bar putting some oil in and turning the key, which we don't have. So hopefully tomorrow. So thanks for watching. Like I said, it's been a bit hit and miss. I will find that bloody tripod somewhere, and then tomorrow we'll go through this is how we're going to roll. If the key turns up, and all that stuff. So see you in episode 4.